New tonight, the city of Phoenix will pay out a $2 million settlement for the wrongful death of a 2-year-old boy back in 2022. The family said Phoenix firefighters refused to take him to the hospital after he started having a seizure, telling them that it's normal. Thanks for joining us tonight. For 12 News at 10, I'm Mark Curtis.
And I'm Troy Hayden. Caribe is off tonight. 12 News journalist Chase Golightly spoke exclusively with the family's attorney, and he joins us live outside Phoenix City Hall. So what's all this about, Chase?
Troy, Mark, according to those court documents, the boy's mother pleaded with firefighters to take him to the hospital, but they told her it wasn't necessary. Then just hours later, that little boy died. You should always be able to count on firefighters to help in your time of need. But for the Clugston family in Phoenix, they said that didn't happen for their 2-year-old son, Abraham.
I almost didn't believe what had occurred.
Brianne Slack is their attorney, who filed a wrongful death lawsuit against the city of Phoenix and its fire department. According to court documents in 2022, Abraham's mom said her son suffered a seizure for the first time and had a fever. She immediately called 911.
She was panicking.
When Phoenix firefighters arrived, the document claims the mom begged them to transport Abraham to the hospital, but firefighters said that wasn't necessary and that Abraham was fine. They said instead to just give the 2-year-old Tylenol and ibuprofen. When the mom insisted, they reportedly told her that she was overreacting.
She's told, calm down, you're overreacting, it's just a seizure. All kids have seizures.
Trusting the firefighters, she listened. She gave Abraham Tylenol and ibuprofen like they recommended. Then
he was found unresponsive less than 6 hours later.
She called 911 again. This time they did rush the toddler to Phoenix Children's Hospital, but after life-saving efforts, the family was told Abraham had died.
It was heartbreaking and shocking. They called out relying on Phoenix EMS and relied on their consultation, their advice, saying that he doesn't need to be taken to the hospital. He's fine.
Leading to this lawsuit being filed against those firefighters and the city for their son's death. The Clugston family sending us a statement that reads in part, whether it was poor decision-making that day or it was a flaw in the procedure that needed to be exposed and addressed, Abraham's death could have and should have been prevented. Now, years later,
passes 9-0.
The Phoenix City Council agreed to pay the Clugston family $2 million to settle the case.
At the end of the day, the settlement is not going to bring Abraham back, but the family have been very vocal about wanting to pursue some kind of reform.
Demanding policy change so no one else's child will go through what Abraham did. Now, we did receive a statement from the city of Phoenix a few hours after the council made the approval. It says, quote, the city of Phoenix extends its deepest condolences following this incident. As with any incident, an internal review was conducted and steps have been taken to improve training and procedures, adding the city remains dedicated to protecting the community. We're live in downtown Phoenix tonight. Chase Golightly, 12 News.
All right, Chase, thank you for the report. New tonight, a suspect wanted for the deaths of 2 Arizona Rangers is dead after a shootout with state troopers in Missouri. Troy and Cynthia Templeton were Arizona Rangers, kind of an auxiliary police force. They were shot and killed Sunday in their home in Taylor, Arizona, which is up near Shirlow, northeast of the valley. Police identified Cynthia Templeton's son, Francis, as the suspect, and a nationwide alert was issued for him. Last night, he was involved in 2 separate chases with law enforcement in Missouri and shot at a state trooper. Troopers returned fire, and he was shot and killed. The investigation into what led up to that shooting here in Arizona is still ongoing.
Tonight, the city of Phoenix voted not to approve a resolution that would have prevented local police from getting involved in immigration enforcement. The petition, called the Resolution for Thriving Communities, was created by a community organization called POTR in Action. It called for an end to police practices that the organization says have led to racial profiling and the unnecessary arrests of immigrants. The Phoenix City Council voted 8-1 against the resolution. It comes just a week after the Phoenix Police Department said it had not been involved in any local immigration raids.
One of the 3 finalists hoping to become Phoenix's next police chief is now out of his current job. A Phoenix City spokesperson says a decision has not been made on who will be hired just yet. So what happened here and what does this mean? 12 News journalist Bianca Bono has more.
First, let me thank by offering our deepest gratitude to former Chief Malik Aziz.
One of the 3 finalists to become the new chief of the Phoenix Police Department is out of his current job.
Chief Aziz is no longer the chief of this department. And again, he is pursuing, as you all are very well aware, he's pursuing other options, and so we wish him well.
On Wednesday, the county executive of Prince George's County in Maryland announced the county's police chief, Malik Aziz, was being replaced.
The truth is, we need someone here who's going to be committed to being in Prince George's County.
The announcement comes 2 days after Aziz was in Phoenix, interviewing for the chief job at a public forum in the city council chambers. News broke in Maryland of Aziz's interest in the position last week when he was named one of the 3 finalists.
I think there are some challenges here in Phoenix that calls upon my knowledge, my skills, and my abilities, and I think I can help, and I think we can help each other understand and grow and move Phoenix Police Department into even a greater realm.
Despite no longer being the chief in Prince George's County, Phoenix city leaders say a decision has not been made here. 2 other candidates are still vying for the department's top job too. Mirtha Ramos, who was most recently chief in DeKalb County, Georgia.
I feel like Phoenix is a progressive city. I like the things that they've been doing, and I think they have so much more to do, and I just want to be a part of it.
And Matthew Giordano, the executive director of the Arizona Peace Officer Standards and Training Board, who previously worked for the Maricopa County Sheriff's Office and the Phoenix Police Department.
I've got a great job at Arizona Post, so for me it's a win-win. I would love to end my career with the Phoenix Police Department, so that's why I'm here.
And Phoenix Police's union says it has not endorsed any of the 3 candidates yet. A city spokesperson here says the decision will be made sometime in July. We're in Phoenix. Bianca Bono, 12 News.
Bianca, thanks. All right. I don't even know if we want to go here with the weather. I mean,
Where are you going to go? Where else are you going to go?
I guess we've got no choice, Lindsay.
We're going to have to endure.
116 tomorrow?
116 tomorrow, the hottest day of the year. It's just one day, and then temperatures are going to begin to slide. Although we do have this extreme heat warning that will continue through Friday evening. So Friday's still going to be very hot, above 110, and will fall below 110 as we get into the weekend. And we have actually a string of days next week that will be below average. Today, another hot one, but luckily we did not set a record high. 114 out of Sky Harbor. Record for the date was 117, set back in 2021. The extreme heat warning continues. Mojave County, the Grand Canyon, the lower deserts through Thursday and Friday. It comes to an end Friday night at 8 p.m. As far as record-setting highs, while we're going to be hot, we're not record-setting hot. The forecast for tomorrow, 116. The record for the date, 118. And then on Friday, we're going to hit 111, and the record for that date is 119. So at least we're not setting records. More on the cool down coming up in my full forecast. Mark?
All right, Linz, thanks. Phoenix fire crews were able to get control of a house fire that broke out in a home just a couple of blocks away from Chase Field. Maybe some of you, if you were driving around the downtown area, saw the black smoke. Crews called out to the area of 7th Street and Buckeye around 6:30 this evening, and by the time they got there, the home was fully engulfed. Thankfully, officials say the home was vacant and no one was hurt. Investigators now trying to figure out how the fire started.
A Chandler man pleads guilty to killing a snowflake woman and her unborn child in a DUI crash last year. 12 News journalist Sean Rice spoke to the woman's family, who's now waiting to see what punishment that man gets.
The loss for Harvey and Christy Frost, immeasurable.
We're never going to get our daughter back. I'm never going to meet my firstborn grandson.
The crash that killed their daughter, 23-year-old Talora, and her child, 17 weeks from conception, preventable.
He needs to be held accountable. He wasn't in the past. The time is now.
On December 23, 2024, Talora and her fiance, Brandon, were traveling eastbound on the US 60 near the town of Queen Valley. That's when Arizona DPS says 64-year-old Ronald Howard was driving drunk with a blood alcohol content level nearly 4 times the legal limit when he swerved into the couple's pickup truck, sending them into a wash along the highway where they collided with a cement wall, killing Talora and her unborn child.
He killed 2 people, and individually he wounded another and took that individual from us. We lost 3 people on the side of the road that day.
According to a police report, multiple people called 911 reporting Howard's driving behavior before the crash. One person said he was driving all over the road. Another reported seeing him swerve and tailgating other drivers. A third person reported seeing him collide with a guardrail before hitting Talora and her fiance. Howard's choice to drive drunk that day, not without its own warning signs, as he's twice been convicted for driving under the influence.
If justice would have been served on first DUI or second DUI, we might not be having this conversation today. And I don't want another family to sit where we are in possibly 10 years if that's all he gets.
A Pinal County judge now set to decide how much time he will spend in prison, anywhere from 10 to 65 years, at his sentencing date next month.
I would request 65 years. Absolutely. Consecutive sentences for all 3 charges. There's nothing else that's acceptable.
Sean Rice, 12 News.
Moving now to international news as Israel and Iran continue to exchange military strikes. Israel says it's trying to stop Iran from producing a nuclear weapon. President Trump meeting with his top military and national security officials in the Situation Room tonight. Administration officials tell NBC News the president is considering a possible military strike on Iran from the U.S. The State Department has started evacuating non-essential diplomats and their families from the U.S. Embassy in Israel as this conflict intensifies.
On October 7th, 2023, it's a day that most in Israel will never forget. It was the day that Hamas, the ruling party in Gaza, they still are, they launched coordinated attacks over southern Israel, including a brazen attack on a music festival. Roughly 250 Israeli civilians and soldiers were taken hostage that day, including a man named Omar Shemovve. He spent over a year and a half locked away, held in an underground cell in Gaza, not knowing if he'd be executed. This past February, after over 500 days in captivity, he was finally freed as part of a ceasefire deal. Earlier today, I had the chance to sit down with him, and he explained in detail the conditions that he was living in, having to survive on small scraps of food.
I had a biscuit a day with some sips of salty water. And I remember me waking up, and I used to take the biscuit, and I would have to calculate throughout the day how would I eat this biscuit. Yeah. And every bite I took felt heavenly. And after 50 days, I remember me sitting in the dark and praying to God, telling him, please, God, please save me. Take me anywhere. It doesn't have to be home. Just save me.
His mission now is to advocate for the remaining 50-plus hostages still being held by Hamas. Omar and I were able to talk for over 20 minutes. It was a really enlightening and candid conversation. You can watch the entire interview right now on our streaming app 12 Plus. Just download on your TV to watch for free.